You can receive a paycheck and already owe part of it before you spend a single dollar. You can buy something today and keep paying for it months later. You can sign one agreement and quietly give away pieces of your future income. So what is a liability really? In personal finance, a liability is something you owe or an obligation that can take money from you now or in the future. That may sound like a complicated finance word, but the basic idea is simple. A liability is money your future self is already expected to pay. In the last lesson, you learned what an asset is. An asset is something you own that has value and can help your financial position. A liability works in the opposite direction. It is not something that helps your money grow stronger. It is something that can pull money away. Sometimes that pull happens every month. Sometimes it happens later. Sometimes it is obvious, like a car loan payment. Sometimes it is easy to ignore, like a credit card balance that keeps carrying interest. This is why liabilities matter. They shape your cash flow before you even make new decisions. Imagine payday arrives. Your paycheck enters your checking account. The number looks good for a moment, but rent is due. A student loan payment is due. A credit card payment is due. A car loan payment is due. Your phone installment is due. Before you buy groceries, part of your paycheck is already spoken. For that is the feeling of liabilities. They are financial obligations attached to your money. Not every monthly payment is the same kind of liability. Rent is usually a monthly expense. A utility bill is usually a monthly expense. A car loan is a liability because you owe money over time. A credit card balance is a liability because you borrowed money and must repay it. A student loan is a liability because it represents money owed for past education costs. The key idea is obligation. If you are required to pay money because of something you borrowed, financed, promised, or legally owe, you are probably looking at a liability. Let us make this concrete. Suppose you buy a laptop for $900 using cash from your checking account. After the purchase, the money is gone. You own the laptop, there is no future payment. That purchase may be an expense, and the laptop may have some value, but there is no liability if you do not owe more money. Now suppose you buy the same $900 laptop using a payment plan. You pay $100 today and agree to pay $100 each month for the next 8 months. You still get the laptop now, but you also created a future obligation. That future obligation is the liability. The laptop may help you earn money, the laptop may be useful, but the payment plan means your future cash flow is already affected. Can you see the difference? The object is the same. The payment structure is different. That structure changes your financial position. A liability is not always evil. This is important. Some liabilities may help you access something useful before you can pay in full. A student loan may help someone get education. A car loan may help someone get to work. A mortgage may help someone buy a home, but a liability still needs to be understood clearly because it creates required payments. Required payments reduce flexibility. They make your monthly cash flow tighter. They can also create stress if income drops or expenses rise. The danger is not simply having a liability. The danger is not understanding what the liability is doing to your future money. Let us compare two people. Person A has no car loan. They spend $300 a month on transportation. Person B has a car loan payment of $450, insurance of $180, gas of $220, and regular maintenance of $100. Person B's car-related outflow is $950 a month. Now imagine both people take home $3,500 a month. Person A's transportation cost is about 9% of take-home pay. You calculate that by dividing $300 by $3,500. Person B's transportation cost is about 27% of take-home pay. You calculate that by dividing $950 by $3,500. The difference is not only about the car, it is about the obligation connected to the car. If Person B loses work hours, that car loan still expects payment. If rent rises, that car loan still expects payment. If groceries get more expensive, that car loan still expects payment. That is what makes liabilities powerful. They do not pause just because life becomes difficult. If this just made your future paycheck look a little nervous, subscribe to the channel. We are learning how money works before it learns how to escape. Now let us talk about credit cards. A credit card is not automatically bad. A credit card is a tool. But if you buy something with a credit card and do not pay the full balance by the due date, the unpaid balance becomes a liability. That balance can grow because of interest. Interest is extra money. You pay for borrowing money. You will learn interest in more detail later. For now, think of interest as the cost of using someone else's money over time. Suppose you charge $600 to a credit card. At the end of the month, you can pay the full $600. In that case, you used the card and then cleared the obligation. But suppose you can only pay $100. The remaining $500 stays on the card. If $500 is now a liability next month, interest may be added, so the amount you owe can become more than the original purchase. This is why a small purchase can follow you longer than expected. The item may be gone. The meal may be eaten. The concert may be over, but the balance remains. This is one of the biggest beginner traps. People often think the purchase ended when they walked out of the store. Financially, the purchase may continue until the debt is fully repaid. A liability stretches a decision across time. That is the key idea. It connects today's choice to tomorrow's cash flow. This is also why minimum payments can be confusing. A minimum payment is the smallest amount you are required to pay by the due date to keep the account in good standing. Paying the minimum may prevent a late fee, but it does not necessarily remove the debt quickly. If the remaining balance keeps carrying interest, the liability can stay with you for a long time. Again, we will study credit cards more deeply later. For this lesson, you only need to understand that unpaid borrowed money becomes an obligation, and obligations affect future cash flow. Let us separate liabilities from regular expenses. If you buy groceries with cash, that is an expense you paid for food. The money left, the transaction is finished. If you put groceries on a credit card and carry the balance, the grocery purchase becomes connected to a liability. You still have to repay the card. If you rent an apartment, rent is usually an expense. You pay for the current month's housing. If you sign a lease, you may also create an obligation to keep paying rent according to the lease terms, so the line can sometimes require careful thinking. Beginner finance is not about memorizing perfect labels. It is about asking the right questions. Do I owe money after this? Am I required to make future payments? Will this reduce future cash flow? Can the amount grow if I delay payment? If the answer is yes, you should pay attention. You may be dealing with a liability. Now let us look at a simple liability map. Money comes in from your paycheck. Some money goes to current expenses. Some money goes to savings or assets. Some money goes to required payments from past decisions. That last group is where liabilities show up. A liability is often yesterday's decision asking for tomorrow's money. That sentence is worth remembering. It does not mean you should fear every loan or payment plan. It means you should not treat future payments as invisible. Invisible payments become painful when the month is tight. Suppose your take-home pay is $3,500. Your rent is $1,300. Groceries are $450. Utilities are $180. Gas is $220. Insurance is $160. Subscriptions and other spending are $350. Those current outflows total $2,660. Now add liabilities. Student loan payment, $250. Car loan payment, $450. Credit card minimum payment, $120. Phone installment, $40. These required payments total $860. Now combine them. $2,660 plus $860 equals $3,520. Your take-home pay is $3,500. That means you are short by $20 before saving anything. This is why liabilities matter. A month can look affordable until you count obligations from the past. The problem may not be one huge decision. It may be several small future payments stacked together. Each payment seems manageable alone. Together they squeeze the whole month. This is called payment stacking. You do not need to remember the term yet, just understand the pattern. One payment, another payment, another payment. Soon your paycheck has very little room left. This is why the question, can I afford the monthly payment, can be dangerous. A better question is, what will all my required payments look like together? A $40 monthly payment may look small, but 5 small payments are $200 a month. Over 12 months, that is $2,400 of future income already committed. That does not mean every monthly payment is wrong. It means every future payment should earn its place in your plan. Liabilities also affect your sense of freedom. When required payments are low, you have more room to adjust. You can save more. You can handle surprises better. You can choose a different job more calmly. You can recover faster from a bad month. When required payments are high, your life may feel more locked in. You need the next paycheck just to keep up. You may delay saving. You may avoid changing jobs even if the job is unhealthy. You may feel stress before the month even starts. That is the emotional side of liabilities. They are not just numbers on a statement. They can shape your choices. So how should a beginner think about liabilities? Start with awareness, not panic. Write down what you owe. Write down the required monthly payment. Write down when each payment is due. Write down whether the amount can grow because of interest, fees, or penalties. This list is not meant to shame you. It is meant to turn invisible pressure into visible information. Once you see the list, you can make better decisions. You can avoid adding a new payment when your cash flow is already tight. You can focus on reducing the most expensive liability later. You can build a small emergency fund so one surprise bill does not become new debt. You can ask better questions before financing something. Here is a simple liability test. Do I owe money? Do I have a required future payment? Can the amount grow if I delay? Does this payment reduce my future choices? If yes, slow down and understand the obligation before you continue. That one pause can protect your future cash flow. Let us summarize 3 important ideas. First, a liability is money you owe, or an obligation that can take money from you now or later. Second, liabilities are not always bad, but they always need to be understood because they create required payments. Third, the more future payments you stack together, the less flexible your cash flow becomes. Subscribe before your future paycheck starts making promises without you. We are learning money from zero, and today your future self got a little more protection. At the beginning, your paycheck arrived, and part of it was already claimed. Now you know why. Those claims are often liabilities. Your next lesson is, what is net worth? If assets show what you own and liabilities show what you owe, what happens when you put them together? In the next lesson, you will learn how to calculate the first simple picture of your financial position.